All right, so this video is all about the 4 reasons not to make a move to Wildomar, California. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams. And this video is all about the city of Wildomar, California. We don't make a ton of videos about Wildomar because it's a pretty small area, but this is a question I get asked quite a bit, and it's really basically what are the cons to living in Wildomar. So we're going to go over the 4 biggest cons, the 4 really worst parts about living there, and things that might be deal breakers for you. So before we get into all the information, do me a favor, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please hit like and please hit subscribe to my channel. Obviously, it helps me and helps my channel as we continue to grow it. And then we have new videos that we put out each and every week. So from about all the local cities here, so Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, Wildomar, Winchester, kind of the whole surrounding Southwest Riverside County. Tons of neighborhoods, tons of videos about best neighborhoods, worst neighborhoods. A few hundred that we posted, and we have new ones that we put up each week as well. So, and if you guys have any real estate questions, you can always feel free to reach out to me. You're going to see my information either at the end of the video or down below. You're going to see my cell phone, my email. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, or you can email me. Happy to answer any questions you may have or help point you in the right direction. I have people that reach out all the time, and of course, happy to be a resource and love to help you any way we can. And if I can help you out with your real estate search, of course, would love to help you do that as well. So feel free to reach out. But let's go ahead and we'll get into all the info. So again, this is all about the top 4 reasons to not make a move to the city of Wildomar. I guess I'll start with the pros and why people do move to Wildomar and consider it in their home search. So the biggest reason is definitely just the price point. It's less expensive than some of the surrounding cities that are a little bit more expensive. So right now, like the average price point to buy a home in Temecula is probably about $850,000, maybe a little bit more. The average price point to buy a home in Murrieta is about $750,000 or so, and the average price point for something in Wildomar is probably somewhere in that mid to high 600,000 range. So it's significantly more affordable, right? That's the biggest thing, and also there's a lot more of the newer construction homes as well. So those are things that people like a lot as well. So where you can move into something, right? It's built within the last 10-15 years, so it's more of an open concept, has some newer finishes and more open concept layouts, things like that. And you also have a ton of these like big, tract home communities, so that have some cool amenities, and they're well maintained, and there's HOAs in place to make sure it's pretty, right? And the city's done a pretty good job with that as well. So those are the biggest pros. As far as the cons, or the 4 biggest cons, and maybe why you might want to avoid Wildomar. Number 1, the school districts are not rated near as highly as the cities of Temecula and Murrieta. So Temecula Valley Unified School District and Murrieta Valley Unified School District are really, really highly rated across the board. And really some of that is the reason why their home prices are the way that they are. The school district in Wildomar, well, actually they don't have their own school district, so I think maybe just the elementary schools, but they're really a part of the Lake Elsinore Unified School District, so they're just not rated quite as highly. So that's something you got to consider, right? The schools aren't going to be rated quite as high. I'm sure there's going to be some pros and cons there. With the exception of the elementary schools actually do pretty good. They do have some pretty good ratings, and they're very comparable with the other districts. So that's the number 1 thing to know, is that just the school districts is just not rated as highly in Wildomar versus some of the others. Number 2 is just about location. So if you're not super familiar with the area, we have the 15 freeway. It basically runs from San Diego, and it takes you up towards LA. It's very much, very north and south. You pull it up on a map, take a look at it. Where we're Southwest Riverside County. So any further south, you end up in San Diego County. Temecula is the furthest south city in our county, in Riverside County. Temecula is south. Murrieta is the next town north, and the next town up on that 15 freeway is Wildomar. So from a geographically speaking, if you look at it on a map, it's probably the lines can be blurred, but especially between Murrieta and Wildomar. There's maybe a mile difference or so. It's probably not that big of a deal, not that much of a needle mover, right? However, if you are commuting, especially if you're commuting south, the location being farther up the freeway can be a pretty significant difference to your commute time, especially if you're commuting south down to San Diego. So even though you might be just a couple exits north, you might add an extra 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes even a little bit longer to your commute each way. So that could easily be an extra 30, 40 minutes in the road compared to something that is more towards the southern part of Murrieta or even into Temecula. So it's a little bit further north. It's going to add a little bit of time to your commute, especially if you make that commute south. Number 3, the city of Wildomar is a really, really small city. So the population is way smaller than the surrounding cities. It is really just kind of a blip on the map as far as the businesses that they have. There's maybe a couple grocery stores. I guess that's selling a little bit short. There's a handful of grocery stores, handful of small shopping centers, and that's really about it. So there's really not much of like an infrastructure in Wildomar, right? So there's not, there's not a bunch of established businesses. There's not a bunch of shopping centers. There's no mall. There's no real like entertainment venues, anything like that. So because of that, if you live in Wildomar, you're probably going to be making a lot of trips to the bigger cities like Temecula, like Murrieta, or even like Elsinore is way larger and has a lot more established there as well. So you just might be on the road a little bit more. Those aren't terribly long commute times, right? So it might be 15 minutes down the freeway, that type of thing, but it's not as convenient as being just down the street. So, and then number 4 for Wildomar is going to be just the neighborhoods themselves can be a little bit more hit or miss. You see some older neighborhoods that were built maybe more in like the early 90s, and then you see some newer neighborhoods that started being built like in the mid 2000s, 2005 and newer. And so because you have that kind of that gap there, you tend to see some difference in just like the quality of the neighborhoods, how well they're taken care of, how well they're maintained, and just just how nice the overall area is. So because that city of Wildomar, I tell people, can be a little bit more hit or miss as opposed to some of the other cities. Like I talk about Temecula and Murrieta a lot, but pretty much 95% of the area is going to be pretty squeaky clean. Wildomar, just a little bit more hit or miss. So you got to pay attention as far as where you're looking at, where the neighborhood is, and what's going on around you. So anyways, so those are the 4 biggest things to know about Wildomar. Those might be reasons for you not to make a move there, but if those are things you're okay with, you can definitely get more for your money. It's going to be a little bit more affordable, and it might be a good option for you and your family. So I hope that helps. Any questions, feel free to reach out. You can call, you can text, you can email me, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.